In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college basketball games happening on February 22, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Tennessee versus Texas Agricultural and Mechanical. On Saturday, the Tennessee Volunteers will head to Reed Arena to take on the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Aggies. This marks the first time these Southeastern Conference basketball rivals will face off this season. Over their last 10 matchups, the Volunteers have posted a 7-3 straight-up record and a 6-4 record against the spread. The total points scored in those games have been evenly split, with 5 going over and 5 staying under. This will be the only regular season meeting between the two teams this year. Last season, they split their games both straight up and against the spread, with the home team winning each time. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical is going to have their hands full against Tennessee's tough defense. Just 3 games ago, the Aggies struggled against Georgia, a top 5 Southeastern Conference defense, scoring only 69 points despite being a far better team overall. Meanwhile, Tennessee's defense recently held Auburn, the conference's 3rd-ranked defense, to just 53 points a month ago. The Volunteers are slightly better than Texas Agricultural and Mechanical on both offense and defense, which could be the deciding factor in this game. It's worth noting that Tennessee is 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games against the Aggies. It seems like Texas Agricultural and Mechanical is getting some extra credit from oddsmakers simply because they're playing at home, where they've been strong with a 12-1 straight-up record this season. On the other hand, Tennessee has seen some skepticism after losing 3 games in the last month. However, the Vols remain one of the best defensive teams in the country, ranking 4th in scoring defense, 1st in field goal defense, and 3rd in three-point percentage defense. They've also secured 4 road wins this season. Tennessee is too solid of a team to overlook, especially as underdogs, a role they've only been in 7 times since February of last year. Sure, it's an early game, and the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical crowd will be loud, but I'm leaning toward the Vols to cover. They're a battle-tested, defensive-minded squad that doesn't back down easily, so the Tennessee Volunteers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. This game pits the 2 best defenses in the Southeastern Conference against each other. It also features 2 of the lowest scoring offenses in the conference, which explains why the total points line is set so low. According to Ken Palm rankings, Tennessee ranks 344th in tempo, and Texas Agricultural and Mechanical ranks 240th, meaning both teams play at a slow pace. The Volunteers have scored 70 points or fewer in 5 of their last 8 games, while also holding opponents to 64 points or fewer in 5 of those games. Similarly, the Aggies have been held under 70 points in 4 straight games and have kept their opponents to 64 or fewer in 3 of those matchups. Combined, the under has hit in 34 games involving these 2 teams this season. The under has been a strong trend for both teams, going 34-18 in their games this year. For Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, the under is 10-3 in home games and 10-3 in Southeastern Conference matchups. For Tennessee, the under is 6-2 in road games and 14-6 following a Vols win. Saturday's game is shaping up to be a low-scoring affair. The real question is whether the total points line is set high enough for the under to hit. Both teams boast elite defenses, ranking in the top 5 in defensive efficiency, and their slow-paced styles only add to the case for the under. While betting the under in a game like this can feel risky, the recent inconsistent performances from both teams actually work in its favor. Neither team fouls much or allows many second-chance points. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Kentucky versus Alabama. The number 17 Kentucky Wildcats are heading to the Yellowhammer State for a Southeastern Conference showdown against the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide this Saturday evening. Kentucky is coming off a strong 82-61 home victory over Vanderbilt on Wednesday night, where they easily covered the spread as 5-point favorites. Meanwhile, Alabama stumbled in their last game, falling 110-98 on the road to number 15 Missouri and failing to cover as 1.5-point underdogs. Historically, Kentucky has dominated the series with a 117-42 all-time record, but Alabama managed to secure a 102-97 road win in their first matchup this season on January 18th. The first meeting between these two teams this season was a high-scoring, thrilling contest. Alabama walked into Rupp Arena and dropped 102 points, securing a 5-point victory while hitting 13 of their 34 three-point attempts. Kentucky was no slouch either, knocking down 11 of their 27 shots from beyond the arc. This time, Alabama enters the game on a 2-game losing streak, while Kentucky is dealing with significant injuries to most of their backcourt. Despite missing Lamont Butler and Jackson Robinson, the Wildcats managed to rebound from a loss at Texas last week with a convincing home win over Vanderbilt. As of now, Butler and Robinson are not expected to play in this game. Butler participated in some modified live practice sessions on Friday, according to head coach Mark Pope, while Robinson was limited to light skills drills on the side. This suggests their return isn't imminent. Both players were instrumental in Kentucky's first matchup against Alabama. Butler contributed 17 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block, while Robinson added 3 three-pointers on 7 attempts. Without their scoring and Butler's perimeter defense, it's hard to see Kentucky keeping pace for a full 40 minutes, especially against an Alabama team eager to snap their 2-game skid. Alabama's backcourt is stacked, averaging 50 combined points per game from Mark Sears, Labber and Fillon, Chris Youngblood, and Aiden Holloway. This depth is a challenge for even fully healthy teams, let alone a Kentucky squad dealing with injuries. The Tide should exploit a Kentucky defense that ranks 318th in three-point rate allowed and gives up over 81 points per game on the road. Kentucky's defense has been somewhat fortunate, as opponents have made just 28.8% of their three-point attempts on the road, the 13th lowest rate nationally. On the other hand, Alabama takes 29 three-pointers per home game but has shot under 30% from deep. Something has to give, and with Butler and Robinson out, along with Alabama's potential motivational edge, Kentucky's backcourt could be the deciding factor. It's worth noting that Kentucky ranks 349th nationally in Haslametrics away from home metric, which aligns with their 10% drop in effective field goal percentage outside of Rupp Arena. Kentucky's first season under Mark Pope has been inconsistent, as the addition of veterans through the transfer portal hasn't yielded immediate results. The Wildcats are just 2-5 on the road this year, with wins over Tennessee and Mississippi State but losses to Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Clemson. Alabama, despite their recent 2-game slide, is 10-2 at home this season. The Crimson Tide already proved they can win at Rupp Arena earlier this year, and they'll likely be fired up playing in front of their home crowd. This spread feels large for a matchup between two ranked teams, especially considering their first meeting this season was decided by just 5 points. Alabama won that game as 2.5-point underdogs on the road. It's also surprising given Alabama's back-to-back losses, though those came against top 15 opponents. Those defeats should provide plenty of motivation for the Tide, who risk losing key seeding opportunities with more losses. Their remaining schedule is packed with ranked opponents, making this game and their upcoming matchup against number 21 Mississippi State crucial before they face 3 teams currently in the top 6. At home, with Mark Sears leading the charge, expect an angry Alabama team to come out strong. Kentucky is 2-5 against the spread on the road, while Alabama is 10-2 against the spread at home this season. Alabama should be fully focused in this one, as a loss could cost them a double bye in the Southeastern Conference tournament. So the Alabama Crimson Tide to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The projected total is sky high, but it's justified given that these are the 2 best defenses in the Southeastern Conference and 2 of the top 3 scoring teams in the country. Both teams also have the worst defenses in the conference, which suggests they're more interested in outscoring opponents than stopping them. Kentucky ranks 39th in Ken Palm's tempo rankings, while Alabama sits at first, so this game could turn into a full-on sprint. Kentucky hasn't been as explosive lately, scoring 80 or more points in just 5 of their last 11 games. Alabama, however, continues to light up the scoreboard, putting up at least 90 points in 5 of their last 9 games. The recent history between these teams also supports a high total, as their last 2 meetings averaged a combined 205.5 points. Kentucky is elite offensively, ranking 5th in efficiency, 12th in effective field goal percentage, 33rd in turnover percentage, 26th in threes per game, and 22nd in three-point shooting. They play at a blistering pace, ranking 39th in tempo with 70.6 possessions per game. Alabama is even more impressive, ranking 3rd in offensive efficiency, 19th in effective field goal percentage, 17th in offensive rebounding percentage, 19th in free throw rate, 3rd in two-point shooting and first in tempo with 74.8 possessions per game. Their first meeting this season produced 199 points, and 3 of their last 4 matchups have gone over the total. Expect another fast-paced, high-scoring affair. Who wouldn't want to see two teams clear a number like this? This is our best chance. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Duke versus Illinois, a rare late-season non-conference showdown is set to light up the Big Apple this weekend. Illinois, holding a 17-10 record, faces a formidable challenge as they go head-to-head with number 3 Duke, who boasts an impressive 23-3 record. The game will take place at the iconic Madison Square Garden on Saturday. The last time these two teams met was in 2020, when Illinois secured an 83-69 victory in Durham. This upcoming clash promises to be just as thrilling. This game is a showcase of two high-powered offenses, part of the Sentinel One Classic, and marks the first meeting between the teams since 2020. Duke has been playing with a chip on their shoulder, particularly after their lone loss in Atlantic Coast Conference play. They've consistently backed up their strong team statistics game after game, and their young roster has shown remarkable poise in high-pressure moments. Illinois, meanwhile, also boasts a talented group of young players, though they've been less consistent compared to Duke. The Fighting Illini have struggled in their recent losses, with their last 5 defeats coming by an average margin of 14 points. Duke has gone 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games, while Illinois has managed just a 3-7 against the spread record in the same stretch. So the Duke Blue Devils to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams feature top 40 scoring offenses nationally, each averaging over 81 points per game this season. Duke, ranked 279th in tempo according to Ken Palm, makes the most of their possessions, sitting second in adjusted offensive efficiency. They've scored 80 or more points in 4 of their last 6 games. Illinois, on the other hand, plays at a much faster pace, ranking 16th in tempo and 16th in adjusted offense. They've scored at least 83 points in 4 of their last 8 games. Combined, these teams have seen the hit in 28 games this season. Defensively, Duke has taken a hit with the loss of one of their key defenders, but they remain efficient rather than fast-paced. Illinois, with their 16th ranked tempo, will look to push the pace and control the game in New York City. However, Illinois has struggled defensively lately, allowing 78 or more points in 3 straight games and going over the total in 3 of their last 4. Duke has also trended toward high-scoring games, going over in 2 straight, 3 of their last 4, and 5 of their last 7. Illinois is averaging 83 points per game on the road while giving up 78 points. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. St. Mary's versus Gonzaga. The St. Mary's Gales have been on a roll lately, showing no signs of letting up. With their position at the top of the conference all but secured, they're now setting their sights on making a significant impact nationally. Their next challenge comes this Saturday against a familiar conference rival, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, who are also hitting their stride at just the right time. Both teams are gearing up for what could be deep runs in March Madness, making this matchup even more intriguing. This Saturday's game in the Pacific Northwest is shaping up to be the most important clash of the West Coast Conference regular season. The Gonzaga Bulldogs will welcome the St. Mary's Gales in what promises to be a fiercely contested battle between the conference's top 2 teams. While their first meeting on February 1st doesn't tell the whole story, it does offer some clues about how this rematch might play out. In that game, Gonzaga entered as a 2.5-point favorite on the road and seemed poised to win until they faltered in the final minutes. Given that, the mere 2-point adjustment for home court advantage feels like a slight to the Bulldogs, who still hold an edge over St. Mary's in key metrics and have historically dominated this series at home. It's reasonable to expect Gonzaga to shoot better from 3-point range this time around, especially at home, after a dismal 3 of 1-7 performance in the first game, which included several missed open looks. On the other hand, St. Mary's offense wasn't particularly efficient either, ranking 238th in free throw rate, but they managed to nearly double Gonzaga's free throw attempts and held the Bulldogs to just 7 fast break points. Gonzaga's success this season largely hinges on their guards, and I'd anticipate a more aggressive showing from their backcourt trio after they combined for only 19 shots in the first meeting. Brian Nembhard, one of the nation's top point guards, leads the charge, but Nolan Hickman and Khalif Battle are equally crucial, especially against a stout defense like St. Mary's. Additionally, Graham Ike's dominance in the post against Mitchell Saxon in the first game could force the Gales to collapse inside, opening up opportunities for Gonzaga's guards to attack the rim or find open looks from beyond the arc. While St. Mary's came out on top in the first matchup at home, Gonzaga now holds the home court advantage and has more urgency to secure a win. Trailing by 2 games in the West Coast Conference standings, the Bulldogs need a victory to keep their regular season title hopes alive. With an offense that averages 88 points per game and features 5 double-digit scorers, Gonzaga has the potential to reach another level at home. The recent history between these two teams is as tight as it gets, with each side winning 5 of the last 10 matchups. Both have been dominant forces in the West Coast Conference since 2022. However, Gonzaga has been particularly strong at home, boasting a 4-1 record against St. Mary's in their last 5 meetings at the Kennel. After the Gales took the first game this season on their home floor, expect the Bulldogs to return the favor this time around. As long as Gonzaga avoids another poor shooting night, they should be able to even the season series with a win at home. Their ability to knock down shots will likely be the deciding factor in what feels like a revenge game for the Bulldogs. So the Gonzaga Bulldogs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. These two teams couldn't be more different in terms of style. Gonzaga ranks 51st in adjusted tempo, while St. Mary's sits at 358, making them one of the slowest paced teams in the country. When these rivals meet, the Gales have consistently succeeded in slowing the game down, resulting in the last 5 matchups staying under the total, with each game finishing below 130 points. Given the high stakes of this game, expect both teams to lock in defensively and focus on executing deliberate offensive possessions. Both squads excel at defending the perimeter and taking care of the ball, which minimizes turnovers and limits fast break opportunities. Despite Gonzaga's historically potent offense this season, both teams have leaned on their defenses in recent matchups. The under has hit in 7 of their last 10 head-to-head games, including their earlier meeting this season, which saw just 120 points scored. For St. Mary's, the under is 8-2 in their last 10 games, with the Gales holding opponents under 70 points in 9 of those contests. Gonzaga's under record is 5-5 in their last 10, but they've allowed fewer than 75 points in 3 of their last 5 home games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.